Yo, no maniacs, welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time. And in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and my guy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we're going to get out of here at a hard hour as best we can. So, guys, we're going to have to be to the point. I got to get out of here and go do some things, but we're going to give you the best hour of your day today. And no maniacs, while we're letting people trickle into the chat, welcome, by the way, everybody. JoJo, Miguel, let me see there. Jay Grizz, Crimson, Dobbsy. Who else do I see down there? Junior, and the Canuck.
Dude, you're still at Canucks gig, man. What's going on?
My bad. Man. I get carried away sometimes, man. That's my fault.
Hey, you said we're gonna give us the best hour. Reminded me of Al Bundy. Peg, I'm gonna give you the best 30 seconds of your life. Let's rock.
Let's rock.
Let's rock. I digress.
I remember that. Hey, look. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but man, Shawn, it's a nice day outside today, man. But that ain't gonna last long, man. The next couple of days, man, we might be into for some turbulence. So by the way, man, how's your weekend been, man?
Man, don't borrow the sorrow from tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I had a good weekend. I did a little day drinking yesterday. Dude, day drinking is the thing. So my guy had a party from 12 to 6. From 12 to 6. I was home. Well, we went to eat afterwards because they had food there. All right, but that was only in the beginning. And then you're drinking, you're dancing, he's throwing out with house music, with hip-hop music. He was jamming. And you out at 6. It's like, all right, over. Goodbye. Get out. And you walk out like, oh, Jesus, the sun's out. Like, oh, I feel like a day walker. I feel like I'm in Blade. All right. Home by 8 o'clock. And you're good. You go right. I went right to bed. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, an hour before I had to wake up for CrossFit. But still, that's a lot of sleep. I'm like, oh, snap. I like this little day drinking thing. Okay. I see what all you guys are talking about. Okay, bet.
No. Hey, go ahead, kids. We'll get the kids.
I'm just saying, needless to say, the SuperBack had a super weekend. Drinking during the day, man, I can't really follow that. I try to start.
I don't know when the last time I've done that, man. I can't even tell you last time.
12 to 6, baby. 12 to 6. Kicked
I've
out
done
at
it
6.
a couple of times. Those were tough days, and even worse following days. You know what I mean? So,
but you're done at 6. It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, bro. Like you go home, you pass. Even if you pass out to the next morning. You're good.
Yeah. But how did you get home? That's the question.
Oh, I wasn't till up on the flow up, but I was eating earlier. Before I got there, I had breakfast. When I got there, they had food, and then afterwards, after they kicked us out, we went across the street to Deja Brew and had a big ass burger. So I was feeding myself. I'm not a rookie. Some people don't like to eat when they drink, which is silly, but no, I was good. It only took me 12 minutes to get home. No, 15 minutes to get home yesterday. So
you're not even sure how long it took you to get home, Shawn.
Huh?
You're not even sure how long it took you to get home.
No, because usually it's 13 from where it was that area, but because it was yesterday area in the evening, there was a little more traffic, so it took me 15.
What you say, man? Folks don't like to eat I know a dude named Willie, a wino around the corner over here on Skid Row, man. He's like that all the time. Eat nothing, man. But he got some kind of beverage in his back pocket in a brown paper bag all the time.
Hey man, don't be putting my relatives on blast.
What's going on, Bishop, man? I heard you coming in town, man. You might pick the bad time to do that.
Hey, brother, it is what it is. It ain't like I'm not used to it. The last couple of times I've been in town, it's been some bad weather. So, hey, it is what it is. But at some point, I'm going to catch it when it's right. So, but either way, as I look out my window today, bright and sunny and in the 80s. So I'm all good. You know what I'm saying? And I might try to bring a little of that sunshine and warmth with me when I do come. But either way, I'm going to come and have some fun anyway. Shawn, I'm going to have to try that day drinking, bro. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, take it easy. Look what you did, SuperBack.
Bro,
everybody drunk by 8:30.
Exactly. And you got to worry about it. You go right to bed till Monday morning. I'll let you know the spot, man. Because he moves it. This is how cool it is. He moves it from a different spot. So it's called Sunday Brunche. All right. It's a kind of just a slang word in Spanish for Sunday brunch. All right. Just a Spanish. This is a little made up word. But anyway, so he goes from different bars to bars every Sunday. So he was at my buddy's spot last last night or yesterday, and he's moving to another spot next week, and then the following week another spot. All in usually on the south side, but there's something on some on the north side. So this one next 2 weeks will be on the south side. I know you'll be in this weekend. This weekend's gonna be over on the south side. So, man, I'll let you know if you down.
I ain't messing with none of you drunk mothers. Nothing.
Well, see, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. You don't have to get drunk. You just have to feel good. That's all.
And then he's playing with house music, and he's throwing some Spanish music. He's throwing some hip hop.
Yeah,
come on, man. You're dancing, dude. There are chicks dancing.
Look, bro, we ain't look, Shawn. We ain't gonna pay Nomad no attention, man. You know what I'm saying?
Once I get it cracking, I get it cracking. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Here we go.
Oh,
now,
really?
Shawn, you know when somebody says that, they're usually a lightweight.
Oh, ain't no doubt about it. I wouldn't hold you, bro. I'm a lightweight. I can't hold you.
He's a featherweight.
Yeah, I'm no man since my college.
He's honest about it.
Man, my college teammates used to get on me all the time, man. You weak as hell, man. I don't like drinking with you. You be ready to quit after like 3 drinks. I be like, man, bro, I ain't built the same, man. While y'all body keep on saying yes, my body be saying no, bro. I don't be wanting no more parts of it.
But you gotta dance for a dance.
My body's telling me no.
Hey, straight up. I still can't take the only liquor, man, bro. The only liquor I have been able to is 2 liquors, and they're both tequilas that I've been able to drink a shot of without spitting it right back up. Is Don Julio and Patron. Those are the only 2 liquors I have ever tried.
And the 2 garbage ones on the market. See, that's why,
whatever,
brother.
Man. Whatever, man.
That's why.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
why.
They are. Yeah,
the 2
only
garbage
reason
ones on the market
because they rap about them, dude. Those aren't the good ones.
Oh my god, bro.
But I'll take some advice from y'all some other time about that. Keep all that taunting about that good weather down there.
I'll tell you in the studio after the show. I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you though during hurricane season and see how you feel about all that good weather. Not gulp on your ass.
See, guess what? I don't get it down here, brother. I'm in San Antonio, so I don't. I don't.
What is that, like mid to northern part of the Texas? I think.
No, sir. I'm south, brother. I'm south central, brother, all the way.
South
and
Central
I don't get
LA.
none of it.
Hey, he on record. He said he don't get none of that weather. We'll see about that.
No, we don't. I don't get no hurricanes and none of that, bro. We may get some. Matter of fact, July and August, we had to become Indians and do rain dances just to get rain down here, brother. We be hitting triple digits and no rain.
How are you?
So trust me, bro. But either way, before I pass it to you, Nomad, let me holler at everybody in the chat room. How y'all doing today? It is No Maniac Monday. That's right. I'm calling it No Maniac Monday. Are y'all ready to talk some football today? And the sports zoners, how y'all doing today as well? Y'all here with your man, the SuperBack. And to my people, you know who you are, my man Stuart, Sophie out in Florida. My people, my boy V-Dub in the D on that truck. Rita, Felicia, Shy City, West Side, South Side. Stand up. Let's get to it. Nomad, to you, my brother.
All right, fellas, let's jump right into it, man.
One for me. Sorry, I had to do it.
Don't do that no more. That was terrible, man. But
says the man who my body's telling me no.
No, you didn't say that. But hey, look,
that's you, brother.
Let's get to some non-Bears news right quick, man, because man, I think Chris Jones has opened up and triggered a market for the defensive tackles like one I haven't seen in recent history. DeForest Buckner just got a 2-year extension from the Colts for $46 million.
Ooh.
Do the math. 23 a year.
Ooh,
and he's probably 31, maybe 32, and he's still getting that kind of money. Just goes to show you what the impact of a really good defensive tackle, in particular, a 3-tech can do for your defense, man. Chris Jones, they ought to all be giving Chris Jones some money right now. Send him something, man. Give him a watch, something, man. All of them, every last one of them. But anybody want to speak on that, go right ahead.
Yeah, so you said how long was the extension? 2 years?
2 year, $46 million.
Okay. Do you know how much was guaranteed? Because he gets that up front.
I think somewhere around 31, 32.
Okay. So it could be an easy thing for them to, depending on his production. You know, if it goes down, they can cut him and just eat it. But it does show you that even at age 31, 32, and who knows when he'll be 33. He could be 33 by the beginning of the season. It just shows you how important that 3 tech is. I mean, we've heard it from everyone, from Tony Dungy, from Lovie Smith, from even Flus, to that's the engine of this defense. How Tommy Harris told us about that. You know what I mean? So it just and there's no other way. There's no other way to truly say it than when someone gives an older defensive tackle that kind of money. All right, then they ain't no bull jiving, no, well, maybe they're exaggerating when people just when they put that type of money toward that position for someone who's that old, they let you know that that position is the one that runs that whole defense, is the most important, the key. I shouldn't say run, it's the key position in that defense. So, hey, good luck good for him, man. I hope we have that problem. We're paying Javon Dexter, shoot, at that point it'll probably be 50 mil or 35 mil per by the time he gets up in that age. At that age, Javon Dexter's only 25, so maybe we can 25, 30.
Marlon Johnson saying he's only 30. I had that wrong then, Marlon. Good job. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Sweetie, they got him. He can probably.
He got another 2 good years. Yeah. Easily 2 good years, and then another 2 hanging on years, rotation years.
Yeah.
So anybody else want to speak to that? Because we got another.
Look, man, I'm just gonna say that's just good money, man, and more power to him. I'm happy for him, brother. You know what I'm saying? It just shows that position is highly coveted, man. Man, get that bag, man. As the youngins say, get that bag.
Guess what? He ain't the only one that got paid today. Devontae Smith, receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, was grabbed. He was on his. They extended him 5th-year option. Grabbed his 5th-year option. Signed him up for another 3 years. He's there to 2028. 3 years, $75 million, 51 guaranteed, bro. 51 guaranteed. They got paid. And
how old is he?
Man, he can't be no more than like 24.
So that means he get a stab at the bag one more time before 30. Oh, man.
Might get a couple more. He might get a couple more. He might get a couple more. If he can maintain some relatively good health, he might get a couple more stabs at it.
Especially if they win a Super Bowl in between now and then,
Mm-hmm. You can get the extension on top of the extension. You know what I mean?
Yes,
depending on how he impacts the team, man, he's gonna get paid for a long time if he can stay healthy. Kedz, you got something?
Yeah, he's that good, right? Like, he deserves that money.
He do.
He's a very solid wide receiver. I wouldn't even really call him a WR2. He's sort of a 1B to Brown on the other side, right? I'd pay the kid. You don't want him upset or angry or looking to leave next year. So I think that was a very, very good move in Philadelphia to lock down one of their top performers on the offense. Well done.
Smart.
Yeah. So who else hit the cha-ching? Cody Whitehair in Vegas. 1 year, $2.5 million.
Oh, it's not cha-ching, bro.
That's mean. That's mean. You're a mean guy.
Well, hey, when the last time you seen $2.5 million? I don't know. I mean, that's still a cha-ching.
I'm still waiting for that check to clear. I'll be honest.
Relatively speaking, that's not cha-ching in the NFL. Relatively speaking.
I'm still waiting for that check to clear. Look, I'm glad Cody's still playing. I'm not even slightly surprised he wound up with the Raiders. It's probably the perfect place for him to go and just, extend his career for a little bit longer, get a couple more bucks in his jeans. And I won't be surprised when they sign him again next year at in and around the same money. But that being said, he's not going to make much more than that. And
well, he don't need to. You know what he's made? It's 16, 1.7. In 17, 640K. 18, 800K. 2019, 7 mil. 2020, 10.7 mil. 21, 6.5 mil. 22, 8.1 mil. 23, 9.9 mil. Yeah, that ain't no cha-ching. That's like, we'll just keep the faucet. We'll keep the faucet running so the pipes don't get frozen. That's it for this for him. Damn.
He made stripper money. That's money to go to the stripper club and just make it rain at the stripper club, man. Between that escorts and the dispensaries, he gonna be good to go.
Mrs. White here put this podcast on mute.
Hey,
Yeah, she got that unlocked. She got it unlocked. He got a couple kids. She got that unlocked. Trust me. She's like,
Okay, all right.
That's
But
why
he-
he's going to. That's exactly why he's going to the club.
good. Hey, guys, serious question. Do you think Getsy had a hand in bringing him there, and why? If you think so.
yeah,
I do. He
Okay.
knows
I'm
the
familiar
scheme,
with him.
right?
Why so
He's
much?
familiar with Cody. He's familiar. Cody's familiar with the scheme. I think that's exactly why they brought him over. And I won't be surprised if I wouldn't be shocked if Eddie Jackson winds up over there. Not that it has anything to do with Luke Getsy, but Luke Getsy's familiar with the player. I think some of our castaways would definitely fit well over there over time.
I mean, Getsy seems to have a thing for guys who can't snap the ball, so why not?
Yeah,
did I
dude.
say-
Oh man, poor
Did
Raiders.
I say
man.
that? Oh,
Yeah, you did, and I had to really think about it. It was mean, and it's right about just about bang on correct. They're gonna have a heck of a time. Like, hopefully, he's playing guard. I hope they have a center.
Yeah,
I'll
I hope
find
so.
out.
Hey, it would
We shall
probably blow
see.
y'all away if somehow he was able to redeem himself. Redeem his career and have a breakout season in Vegas. And I think that would just drive the fan base nuts, man. If that were
Man, come
Man,
on.
you know
Now
damn
you're
well it would.
Hopeful
saying-
thinking.
I'm just saying, man.
Hopeful
I told you
thinking.
right here. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Hey, so in other news, man, there's a few big names, fellas, that didn't report to voluntary, and I say that in quotes, voluntary off-season training program. And they say, Shawn, you already know. They say it's voluntary, but we all know the truth is you expect it to be there. And so Micah Parsons ain't there, CD Lamb, and I think one more guy didn't show up. Let me look at my list here. Let me see, Micah Parsons, CD Lamb. Let me look. There's one more person I'm not coming up with right now, but none of those two guys did not. Justin Jefferson. What do you think? Let's go by each one. What do you think it is with Micah Parsons, kids?
Well, they just released some sort of noise about him not being a super friendly guy. And I'm under the impression he's probably feeling a little bit of aware that noise got let out of the building. So I probably wouldn't be in any hurry or rush to get back into the building. They're definitely discussing long-term arrangements right about now. All the more reason for you to just enjoy that time off.
Well,
So,
you know what, Kedz, he's regarded, and I would tend to, between he and Chris Jones, probably the best two defensive players in the league, in my opinion. He's only going to get a couple $1 million this year. As of right now, he's only set to get a few million, 2, 3, 5. I don't know how much, but whatever it is way too much to show up and put yourself at risk. You think that's playing a factor in it?
Well, yes, there's that factor too. I think that is sort of a low-level factor for anybody who is not showing up to, voluntary, training camps and things to that effect. You really want to keep your health in check. That's important. Outside of that, dollars and cents are important. So I'm with Micah Parsons on this one. Quite frankly, I'm also with Justin Jefferson as we move down the line.
No love for CD?
No, actually, no, not in this scenario. There's no reason why he the only answer to that again is strictly health reasons. He should go and play, but that's my 2 cents.
Anybody else, fellas? Because
Parsons is going to make $3 million this year. All right, next year's fifth-year option is 21.
that's
So
great.
he's probably just like, let's
Money.
holler at your boy because I don't even feel like getting paid 2.9 or $3 million. So we need to talk about this and unfortunately for the Cowboys, he's got the resume and the stats to prove that he should be paid more. All right, from the Cowboys' perspective, you don't have to go to the, you don't have to go to the to the bargaining table. You don't. It's just a contract, So if you depending on how you look at it, players always want to renegotiate because you have to understand, if you guys who are watching don't know, that these contracts are not guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is a guaranteed money. So if he gets hurt, then everything, and he doesn't play again, the only thing he gets is the guaranteed money that they agreed upon. So it's not like baseball, it's not like basketball. So they could cut you at any time and your contract is done. So, so remember that when you guys start talking, oh, he's a bum, he's doing this, or he's, he should live up to his contract. Well, guess what? The teams don't live up to their contract oftentimes. All right, they don't live up to the deal that they agreed to as well. So, I'm mad at you, Papa. Go get your money if you feel it. And maybe he's not. Maybe he's just like, what? I don't feel like going. I know the scheme. What else what are you going to tell me that's going to up my production to even, you know what I mean? Like I'm a bad Mother Hubbard. What else? I don't need to be there. He's a veteran. Happens. They get that way. The entitlement.
So that name on the screen right there, I just put into the chat, fellas, is Dadrian Taylor Demerson, safety out of Texas Tech. One of the guys, I have two guys I think that's visiting Hallis Hall today. I think he and Chop are there today. And so what do I know about Dadrian Taylor Demerson? I know he didn't make my top 10 safeties list, but not because he can't play. He's good. He's a smaller safety. He's more like, I think he's listed at, let me see here, at about 5'11". He's more like 5'10", 5'9", 195, probably more like 185, 190. If
Mike Brown?
He's kind of, he puts you in that mind. He puts you in that mind when you watch him play. He's got that build to him. One thing I can tell you about him, he will come downhill and lay it on you. That I can tell you for sure. His toughness probably got him that visit. But he is a ball hawk. He's got let me lay out some stats for you. He's got 53 solo tackles this year, 4 picks, 7 pass deflections. You getting what is that? 4 interceptions and 7 pass deflections. He's around the ball often. And he makes plays when he gets there. I think he's a nice pickup. I don't think there's any chance in hell that he's anywhere near a pick. Anything under, before 122 would be nuts to grab him. Even after the draft, I think he could be probably a potential guy. Anybody want to touch on him? Nobody?
Well, let me hit this first. Previous to recap on everything, if I'm Parsons, I wouldn't be in no rush to get down the highway to get to the facility, considering they say that he's a problem in the building. So take your time. CD, hey man, you proved that you deserve to get your money too. Take your time as well. For that matter, the Cowboys are looking for somebody to give them the discount. So everybody, take your time. And for Justin Jefferson, find out who your quarterback's gonna be, man. Don't be in no rush either, brother. With regard to this young man that's you talking about coming into the building, hey man, look, we do know one thing: they're gonna always look at DBs. And considering as much as I like Brisker, we definitely need somebody that can back him up and back the backup to him up. So in the event of injury, because them cats are gonna be in the box a lot and laying some wood. So let's see. It doesn't hurt, man. You got to shake every tree because we got limited picks.
So, off-season workouts began today. Guys start to matriculate into the building, and I think mainly what's going on today is physicals, weigh-ins, and things like that, and getting that playbook in their hands. The offense, especially, it's going to be a new system. A new variation of the system that they ran, new verbiage, new sets, new everything pretty much, but the same concept. What do you guys think?
I know that.
I know.
Yes, we are.
About that.
Yes, we are.
About
okay.
That.
Yes, we
it's
are.
going to be the same concept. The core concepts are the same. Variations to the concept are going to be present, and that's what they're going to have to learn. The verbiage and all that kind of stuff, that's Shawn, I don't know when the last time you picked up a playbook, but what do you think the learning curve is going to be? You got to think about it, man. You're getting a new coach, new variations to the system, and with a rookie quarterback coming in.
Learning curve for who?
For all of them, with the rookie quarterback.
Well, the learning curve won't be very, very steep at all for everybody who's already in that system. All right, depending on and you got to look at the system that Caleb came from. So Caleb, the person who's farthest behind, or whoever the new quarterback is going to be the person who's furthest behind, because all these guys have played in that system. Like you said, it's going to be some variations. It's just going to be terminology it's going to be, so I don't think it's going to take very long for everybody to get on board with Shane Waldron. I mean, he may have a few more different sets, different packages that he may employ, but I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, I see that. I'm not.
The core concepts are still going to be some core concepts in there. The variations are going to differ wildly. He's partially, Bellissimo is mostly right, but there's going to be some core concepts still in there to the West Coast system. It's just always going to be there.
Yeah, they did run a lot of West Coast, last year with that, but I don't think it's going to take very long. And again, the new quarterback, however fast he can pick it up, and I mean, it's still going to have an issue, I believe, depending on if he picks it up really, really fast. And don't forget, we get to start earlier because of the Hall of Fame game. So whoever our quarterback's going to be, we have more time than most teams because of the early preseason game. So they'll be getting in there, and that'll help the learning curve as well.
Anybody else want to speak to that? Okay. How about this, man? There's a report out there, and I was just watching a podcast not too long ago. There's a reporter that's heavily connected to the Big Ten, that's been asking around, and the word is Marvin Harrison really, because he only took 2 visits that we know of, Chicago and Arizona. The word is out there, and it's just speculation and people saying stuff. I have no reason to think the guy is lying, but you never know. It could be somebody just trying to get clicks for his podcast. Who knows? But it's been heavily speculated that Marvin Harrison really wants to come and play for Chicago with Caleb Williams, and he was doing everything he could to kind of tank his situation at the combine, his pro day. He did not do all that stuff intentionally. Word is to drop his draft value and fall into the laps of the Bears. Any of that believable to you guys? Why or why not? Start with you, Kedz.
Man, okay. It's an interesting one. Start things off, Bears have the first pick. He would be in my opinion, if the Bears weren't really looking at a quarterback, he would definitely be in the conversation. So then you look at who potentially might be looking at a wide receiver. We're talking about Arizona. They're probably the real guy who's looking for a wide receiver before us. Maybe the Chargers, maybe the Giants. I don't really see that happening in either case, but possible. It's highly possible one of these 2 bigger name wide receivers falls to us, whether that's Neighbors or MHJ. If MHJ drops to 9, man, that would be an interesting situation. I'm kind of glad that they did bring him in. They also brought Neighbors in. It's a good look if it can happen. I'm not so sure if he would really, I'm not sure if he would really require his stock to slip for Ryan Poles to either make a move to trade down and get him. I'm not really for that as an idea, but if he has conviction on MHJ, which I believe he probably does, if he's close enough to us, they may just pull that trigger. So it'll be interesting to watch. What the rest of you guys think? Shawn?
He won't make it to 9. I don't think. There's a whole bunch of speculation that the Bears trade up to 5 if JJ McCarthy sneaks into the top 4. If the first 4 picks are quarterbacks, that's the talk is maybe the Bears trade up to number 5. I think it's possible that he's trying to limit his choices. All right. I mean, him and Caleb, I'm sure, have each other's number. Okay. And I'm sure Caleb explained to him what he was doing by not giving people medicals and that. And again, that's a big thing. And not having medicals on a player. All right. It's difficult to draft. It's very difficult to draft him to make that decision, because now what if there is something wrong? What if, and I don't think there is, but if there, you're dealing with an athlete that you're about to give multi-millions of dollars to. You gotta check under that hood, man, and see. So if he's doing kind of what we thought what Caleb was doing, okay, then yeah, it's possible. It's possible that no one's going to want him because of his lack of medicals, and make it easier for the Bears.
Word.
I don't see him dropping to 9, and I really don't see the Bears trading up either. I think for them, they're going to either sit at 9, or if they can potentially move back to get a couple. I still say that they need to try to get a second-round pick. So, but it really depends. Again, like I said, it's really going to depend on who falls where in terms of quarterbacks, and whether or not Arizona is set on staying at 4 to get a receiver, or does somebody come up to 4 and they trade back and trade spots with somebody like, say, New York or someone where he ends up falling, because that's what I think is going to really determine. That 4th pick is going to be the domino to determine where everybody else falls. So it's going to be interesting. Today is the 15th. We got 10 days to go, y'all. So we going to find out real soon.
Well, my take on it, realistically, this is what I can predict could probably happen. And it all depends on what Arizona does at 4. I think there's a chance that they could draft Malik Neighbors, and he falls to 5 to the Chargers. I could see a scenario of the Bears trading up 4 spots. And we talked about this last night. I feel like this, man. If Poles is convicted about bringing this new quarterback in and pairing him up with the weapon that's going to be with him for a long time, I think you should have conviction. And it might be an unpopular thing to say, and a lot of fans may not like it, but I think you do what you have to do. If that means dipping into next year's capital to get this guy the pick that he wants to pair him up with, I think you do that and go ahead and have some conviction. Let him hang and go get your guy. I could see them realistically trading up to where San Diego's sitting, I think at 5, 4 spots, and going and grabbing him. That's just my take on them. I can realistically see that. But how about this, man? Tevin Jenkins is moving into his final year of his contract. They haven't offered him an extension yet. I think I would have thought that if they were serious about Tevin Jenkins, he'd see an extension on the table by now. He has not. Let me ask you guys a question. I mean, your honest answer is good with me. Would you be upset to see Tevin Jenkins moved at some point during this offseason for Ja'Tyre Carter to get a chance? Would anybody be upset about that? Man, hey, listen, you're giving me bad faces, man, but Tevin ain't been all the way healthy. He hasn't been all the way healthy, and if you believe, and it's just a hypothetical question, not saying it's going to happen. If that were to happen, who would be upset about that and why?
I would be upset. I think SuperBack would be upset. I can kind of feel it from here. I think Keith might be a little upset, but here's the reality. Reality kind of stinks. I could feel it from when you were, you brought this topic of conversation up. As soon as you said Tevin, I was like, man, because they have
gonna go. I got a feeling.
I have a feeling too, right? So they technically have depth at the position, at least in their opinion. I think the best of them all is Tevin Jenkins. Don't get me wrong. And position I'm talking about truly here is guard. I think Tevin is probably one of the best running guards in the league. I don't know. That being said, do they want to pay a Ryan Pace guy? And you know what I mean? If we're really looking about that, so far doesn't really look like they want. They have, but I don't know if they want to.
Right?
Two.
There's 2. I'm not saying it's something he hasn't done, but look what those 2 guys really had to do at their position to maintain. Not to mention when those guys got their extension, there wasn't other players at the position that that they've dedicated relatively large money to. So, I would not. Here's the thing. Injury, yeah, but trade value is probably actually really high right now. Right? So, like, I I hate to say what I'm about to say, but I could see Tevin being a trade package candidate here in the draft if they do want to do something crazy like what Nomad just put together, or if they even wanted to just scoop up another second or a third or
You're
a
not
second.
getting a second for Tevin. You're not getting a second
Don't
for
think
Tevin.
so?
No.
I think he might. I think he's that good.
It's not about as good. It's about everyone's talking about the health issue, and that's what people are. That's a lot of the, So I'm going to give you a second round pick for a guy who's going to miss, who I feel might miss. Yeah, I think the highest for Tevin is going to be a third, and that's if a team really needs a guard. I don't think second. I don't think he's going to get a second. I just think he's too injured. Plus, he was a second round pick, so you know what I mean.
He's a first rounder. No, I thought he was first round. I thought they traded back up into the first round again.
No, he was second round.
He was a second rounder? All right.
Well,
but hey, yeah.
I'm gonna put it like this, man. Would I be surprised if he would be used as trade bait to get some draft capital? I would not. But I would be remiss to say this. At what point, man, is this team going to get a doggone identity? He's probably the toughest dude on the doggone team. At least he's the only one that had that feels any type of way when his quarterback gets hit late. Everybody else seems to be quite passive, including the coach. So
that guy in here either.
At some point, man, can we please get somebody with some gumption and some kahunas to want to be mean enough to create an identity for the team? I mean, unless we just want to have a very passive team and everybody just seems to be, softer than a Twinkie center, hey, then go right ahead. Trade them, do whatever, man. Nothing surprises me at this present time, when it comes to Pacers guys that's still on the roster. There's only, 4, I think? There's only like 4 guys left on the entire roster that's from Pace's team, right? When Pace was GM. So at some point, I expect to see this team devoid of all Pace players besides Justin, other than Jalen Johnson. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't do it because I think in terms of offensive linemen, when he's healthy, he's a heck of a guy, man. The dude is Pro Bowl caliber, man, and I believe he can be Pro Bowl caliber at guard, but Poe's pride himself on being, a guy that knows the offensive line. So only time will tell.
I'll tell you what.
Nate Campbell has the right idea down there. Trade Davis before Tevin. The problem is there's money tied into Davis. There's no money tied into Tevin, and they're going to have to extend him at some point for likely a fair amount more than they're paying Nate Davis right now. And that's why I lean towards a second rounder. I know the injury case scenario. Second rounder to me makes it worth your while. If you're getting a third, consider it. But anything further than that, you don't. Please God, don't pull the trigger. Anyways,
I'll tell you what, guys. The meat and potatoes of the show is what you saw on the thumbnail. Is this duo between Flus and Caleb Williams a fit? It's a big question. It's a lot of nuance, a lot of intangibles to it. I got a bunch of stuff written down. I want to ask the guys. I'm going to ask you all in the chat too. Just the potential for it could really work or it can get really bad, and all the stuff that comes with it. But we'll get to it on the other side after the station ID.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That is right. So if you have not subscribed to either the Nomad Network or Sports Zone Chicago, please consider doing that. We would greatly appreciate that. If you do nothing else, please make sure you hit the like button if you're here today watching the show live, or if you got it streaming on some other platform, whatever it is. Please do us a favor and like the show. Go to YouTube and give us some likes. If you do nothing else, we would really appreciate that. And also make sure you subscribe. Share the content And also hit that little bell, man. Click that little notification bell, because you never know. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. You never know when something could happen pre-draft, and we have to go and do a live show on the spot. So make sure you hit your notification bell and get ready for that. So, fellas, when you saw the thumbnail and the question that was posed, kids, what was the first thing that came to your mind? Think about that. Is this duo a fit together? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
Well, we're talking about a defensive coach and a quarterback. That was really the first thing that came to my mind. Right off the bat, that's not quote unquote ideal. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works. It's worked quite a bit, but ideally, that's what jumped to my mind. Ideally, I'd like to have an offensive mind with paired with that quarterback to really guide him through. But here we are.
What about you, Shawn?
Yeah, they'll fit. They'll fit. I don't know why. I mean, you got Shane Waldron, and then you also he did in the coaching ranks and the coaching staff what Ryan Poles has done, what he's done in the on the player side, the personnel side. He's got the guy, his successor. All right, we have Thomas Brown, who was up for the offensive coordinator position for the Bears. All right, if whoever the quarterback is, if they have a good to great season, or I shouldn't say they, if the quarterback has a good to great season, or this offense puts up a lot more points, regardless of whether it's by passing or by running, whatever, Shane Waldron's gone. Okay, Shane Waldron's gone. So, but you still have the guy here who will succeed him. So I think they're okay. I think they're fine.
What say you, Bishop?
Two things. First thing, actually, myself and a buddy of mine, we were texting back and forth regarding this information on the thumbnail, and he shot me something, and it makes a lot of sense. Considering the new players and coaches that we have on both sides of the ball, this season especially is going to appear to be a good match. Then we need to reserve our judgment until after the season and see what next season holds. That at that time, then we will really be able to tell whether or not they're a good match. This first year, yeah, because you got all these new players, all the new coaches. There's not any tape on anything that we're going to be doing. So yeah, it's going to look very good. But then once everybody else catches up, we'll see what it looks like. Will they be a good fit? Only time will tell.
So Squeegee, I'm about to put his comment up. Squeegee, appreciate you for this one, Squeegee, because you took the words right out of my mouth. Belichick was a defensive coach, and look what him and Tom Brady did. It could happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's precedent. Tom Brady was considered an elite quarterback. Not considered anymore. He was an elite quarterback. We have what could be potentially an elite quarterback coming in. However, go ahead.
Contrary to that, though, if you think about it, in the very beginning, they were very defensive heavy.
Thank you.
It wasn't until Josh Daniels came there that we really started seeing the emergence of Tom Brady. So in the first few years, they were defensive heavy.
Yes, they were.
Tom was asked to strictly be a game manager. It wasn't until Josh Daniels got there that they really opened up the playbook and did some things to kind of stretch the field some. So we, again, goes back to what I said earlier. Let's reserve it and let's see how it comes together in maturation.
You beat me. You beat me to my point. I was about to say he's kept that since Belichick has been there. He's kept that team with no less than probably than the last couple of years, no less than a B plus average. And I'm talking about if I had to grade them, defense. What does that mean? How does that translate? You get a B plus average defense year in and year out. What the quarterback has to do is not a whole lot. Because they're going to constantly put that quarterback in positions to, take advantage of advantageous field position, just turning the ball over and things like that, giving the quarterback more bites at the apple. And so that's exactly where I was going. What Bishop just said. They've always been built as a defensive team. And so what I'm getting at is the precedent is there. That can absolutely work here in Chicago. Here's why I think it can get kind of tricky, kids. I can imagine this scenario. Say, for instance, Caleb comes in and goes through rookie things. And let's just say, because Caleb has a thing, man. This is something that Flus did with Justin that I think helped. It definitely helped. He had Justin when he scrambles and left the pocket to hold on the ball with two hands. Caleb Williams had a horrible, horrible habit of leaving the pocket and just running with the ball on one hand. Like say, for instance, he starts turning that ball over, whether it be fumble or throwing unnecessary interceptions. I can imagine him walking off the field frustrated, going right to the offensive coordinator and just airing out his frustration. I can also imagine Flus coming over there and having something to say about whatever's being said there. And I can see Caleb Williams telling him to go kick rocks. You go over there and run your defense. I think he's got that type of personality. I mean, you laughing, man, but I'm serious. Don't you see that kind of in him? He was just like, man, you go over there. You run your side of the ball. We got this over here. Could you see a scenario like that, kids?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Ego's a special thing, right? So like you can be an egotist and walk into the door with absolute, confidence and arrogance, but the league's going to humble you. The locker room is going to humble you. Chain of command is going to humble you. These are three little pieces of reality here. He's going to walk in the door and immediately realize that there's people above him who are here to tell him what to do, and he needs to not only fly right, he needs to do exactly what he's being told to do. And if he has a problem with it, that's unfortunate. He can go to the sideline and sulk and yell and cuss, but you can't be flippant or disrespectful to the guy who more or less co-signed your trip here, right? Your tenure. He can just as quickly bench the kid as not bench the kid. I don't see him benching the kid, and I'll just be real about that. I don't see that happening. But I don't think he's a rookie coming into the league. Like, the only reason why he would be that level of arrogant is if, again, he comes in here and lights this piece up, and I can see that happening. Given that we're running a whole new offense, nobody's seen it. We're working with a brand spanking new QB who is mechanically sound, right? These are advantages that he's going to bring to the table come September. But you got to start winning in order for your, any level of arrogance to be respected. If we're losing and he's not putting up viable numbers, if he's fumbling like you're suggesting he could be, that's not going to fly with anyone. Sorry, bro. Maybe we should sit you and get Ryan Tannehill in here and have him play instead. Or, you know what? Maybe we'll just give the keys to Beijing because, he's not yelling at coaches. Don't see it happening. I think Caleb will be just fine. What about the rest of you guys?
What about you, Shawn?
I could see him doing something like that. I don't know if he would initially. I think once he starts he's coming in with a lot more confidence than most people have because of his NIL money. All right. And another reason I say that is I don't see, there's nobody in that locker room that he might fear. Okay. There's no Jeremiah Trotter. All right. Jalen Johnson's going to be smaller than him. So he's like, shut up and, stay on your side of the ball. You know what I mean? There's no one who's going to be that type of jerk in that locker room who go up to him and say, hey, listen, rookie, you know what I mean? And I'm concerned.
I think DeMarcus Walker will do that. I think he's definitely got that in him.
Got a whole bunch of offensive linemen that'll do it too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Andrew Billings.
Yeah.
Billings is that guy for sure.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think anybody else would really be that. Shawn, you're bringing up a really good point, though. You're bringing up a really good point because I'm now a little worried about who's going to be the vocal leaders that are in the building when he comes in.
Nathan Campbell, man, cut it out, man. Nathan Campbell, you got to stop it, man.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Oh man, no more.
That's really funny.
No more free manicures.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he is. I can see it happening, but I don't think he will be. Because if word of that gets out, man, he's gonna be one of the most hated people in this thing. Like you don't it's Chicago wouldn't like that. The city wouldn't like that. And there'll be a lot of people, a lot of the Caleb cult will turn on him if he's and most of them will say, well, see, he's speaking his mind. He's like Jim McMahon, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I can see it. I definitely see the potential there. I just don't think it'll happen, especially year one.
Let's say you, Bishop.
I don't think so, man. I don't foresee him lashing out or doing anything like that. I think he's going to come in. I really think the kid's going to come in and be very professional about what he's trying to accomplish. I think the kid wants to be great, and he's going to come in and put in the work, man. Plus, I don't see Flus. Flus didn't do that Flus, his approach is more, he's more laid back. So I don't see Flus really going at him in a way to get that type of response from Caleb. I think Flus will, of course, approach him and let him know, hey, we got to protect the ball. We got to do, so on and so forth. But I don't see Flus going at him in a way to bring that type of reaction out of Caleb. And I don't think Caleb is going to respond in a way to where things become tense between the two. I think they understand what they both are looking to accomplish, what the team is looking to accomplish. And I think Caleb recognizes that, there's a lot riding on him being that number one pick. So, and in terms of who's in the locker room, DeMarcus Walker, Jalen Johnson, there's guys in that locker room, I think, that would speak up and pull his coat and say, hey, man, that's not how we're going to do things around here. And
it's not about speaking up. It's about someone that there's a physical presence aspect of it too. If you're 5'9" and you come up to me and I'm 6'1" and 3/8 and you come at me, he'd be like, boy, sit down. All right. But if you're 6'5", 295 pounds and you come at me like, listen, homie, there's a physical factor. Let's not get it. This is alpha sports. And I know he might be the little prima donna quarterback, the darling, but you get a big black ugly mug in your face telling you need to stop this. There's a little more fear in that than a little guy who's 5'9", 5'10". Just being real. Like we're all men. We understand. You know what I'm saying? We understand that dynamic.
I hear you on that, Shawn, and I believe that's in the locker room. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem.
So, all right. Here's why I brought it up. Let me bring up Do It All's comment here. Do It All, where is you? Where are you? Where's your comment, man? Looking for your comment. But he was more or less saying, I think to me mostly that he felt like that it was kind of an imaginary scenario that Caleb would have problems like this. And only reason I'm bringing this up is because here's the flip side to it. Flus can absolutely gain his absolute trust, his absolute respect. They can learn respect from each other. Flus has shown. If you give Flus no more credit than this, he's shown the ability to be able to bond and build relationships with his players. And so I expect nothing any different than that. Can you imagine a spark happening, during because a rookie quarterback, he's going to get flustered at some point during this year. No question about it. He's going to run into a rough patch. How he responds to it, how Flus responds to him responding to it, is there's always a potential for a spark there. Is it a huge one? I don't think so. But I can definitely imagine a scenario, him bristling a little bit. It might not be what I said, tell him to kick rocks or nothing like that. But I can see him getting a little mouthy about it. When you're frustrated, that comes out of you that way. So, yes, I can see that. I don't think it's a big likelihood, but I can definitely imagine, he gets a little frustrated. You might see a little something on the sideline, no question. I see you thinking, kids.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the entire scenario. I'm thinking about Flus's relationships with the offense. I'm not so sure if there are any. The only one of note that I could bring up would be the guy that we just sent packing to Pittsburgh, right? Outside of that, maybe he's slightly close to DJ Moore. I don't really know of him having that type of connection with anybody on the offense. But again, I'm making these comments from afar. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know. Shawn might have a better idea from a relationship perspective from what you've seen at Hallis. Do you see him have much interaction with the offensive guys?
No, I'm not at Hallis, so. But I mean,
Well, I mean,
I'm
you're
sure.
not
I mean,
Probably doesn't
no,
even
but
get boosted in that
we
scenario.
don't. Yeah, I don't see him because Flus is when I'm in the locker room. Like Flus isn't in the locker room.
He's not anywhere to be found. Yeah,
no, because he's got to go out and do his presser. Shortly after we're allowed in the locker room. So he talks to the team in the locker room, and we're still outside in the bowels of the stadium. And so when we come in, he's not around. He wasn't around. Justin wasn't around. The quarterback wasn't around most times. Just a couple times he was. But those are the two that go talk. So they just avoid having to do anything at that point because they're going to say everything in the presser. So yeah, I don't know his interaction with the offense.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
One other thing I want to pose to you guys, and this is in case, the worst case scenario is things don't go really well. And the head coach, in my opinion, is going to catch that stray if things don't go well. Flus is going to catch that stray. In the event that happens, we hope that everything gets off to a rock roaring start and this dude starts to play and do all the stuff that we think he can do. And he gets this team going in a way and everything gets momentum. But if it goes the other way, I think the head coach catches it straight. But here's my question. In the event that they let go of Flus at some point during the season because of the just record just not bad enough, they're not responding to, what Flus is putting on the table, who do you guys think? And I get this comment all the time, man. I see it all over the place. If Flus goes, it's automatically going to be Shane Waldron next in succession. I would beg to differ with that. I'll tell you why. I'm about to tell you why in just a second. A good offensive coordinator does not necessarily translate to a great leader of men. What I know about Eric Washington and Thomas Brown, I know they can lead men and lead a room, not just the position room or the defense or offense, whatever side of the ball they're on. I know for a fact those dudes can lead men. Why? Is because they were chosen as assistant head coach at both of their respective spots. Who do you think is the next in succession? I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, too. If Flus goes and if Flus catches that stray, who do you guys think is next in succession to lead this team? Go ahead, Kedz.
So given the scenario you mapped out midway through the season, I'm guaranteeing double downing and knocking on wood that it's Shane Waldron.
Hold on, Kedz. Before you finish, I just want to lay something out to you. I don't know if you got a real good, look at Shane Waldron. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. I don't know about you, but he just doesn't strike me as a leader of men. You could see it right away on Washington and Thomas Brown. But go ahead.
Sometimes
stop leading the witness.
Stop leading the witness. so sometimes that's of importance, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you just want a guy who can actually do the job that he's paid for and surround him with guys who are leaders of men, right? If that's not your strong point, you bring in guys who are, and you just kind of labeled the fact that we've got Thomas Brown, we have Eric Washington, which would basically be able to be those leaders of men on Shane Waldron's behalf, which is fine by me as long as he can control, manage, and operate and scheme an offense. So I would think that again, I strongly lean towards Waldron in this scenario. What about you, sir? SuperBack?
I think it all depends, and see, and that's a tough deal. That's like a trick question, all right? Because if the offense is doing well, they're going to win. All right, I'm not concerned with his defense by any stretch, and if they're winning, the Poles doesn't get fired.
Yep.
Okay. If Poles gets fired, that means the offense isn't doing very well. Okay. If the offense is
talking about Flus, right?
Yeah. If the offense isn't doing well, okay, then you're gonna look to Shane, or you're gonna look to Flus. But then, do you want to give Shane Waldron the head coaching gig when the offense isn't doing well?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So now,
It is a very good point.
So now it'll have to defer. It'll have to. You say, well, no, because this offense should be doing much better. So I think Washington would get it. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call because, again, for the reasons I stated. So and we're just giving thoughts, scenarios. That's all. I don't know. One Illinois Jones like, oh, you just got Caleb to fail. No, we don't. We want the Bears to do well. But we're just giving you scenarios. We're talking scenarios. All right. And that's what everybody does is we talk scenarios because we obviously cannot see the future because otherwise I'd be a billionaire with Lotto. All right. So everyone's talking. You just don't like the fact that someone's saying, oh, this could happen. Like, no, this is going to happen because stop it. All right. We're giving scenarios, hypothetical situations. No one's wishing anyone ill will on Caleb or quarterback or Flu. Some people want Flus fired, but no, stop it. Stop starting stuff. Don't be like that.
Go ahead, Bishop.
All right, go ahead, Bishop.
I
can't call you Bish, man. You're Keith. Sorry,
You caught it. You caught it.
I did, and I was like, I sound like goofy. But go ahead.
For me, man, honestly, I think if the offense does not do well, I don't think Flus would be the scapegoat myself. I don't.
Who's the scapegoat?
Yeah, that's
I don't think it would be Flus because essentially, again, he's there to be not necessarily. He's there to be the architect of that defense, man. Him and Eric Washington, they're putting their heads together on that defense. That offense is going. I believe the offense is Waldron's responsibility. Flus is the guy that is leading the coaches. Waldron has to demonstrate that he not only design an offense and scheme up, but that he can also coach his offensive guys that he brought along with him. So if the offense doesn't do well, I think it's going to fall on Waldron, quite honestly, and on Poles, because this is the second OC that has not done well under your watch, Poles.
Let me ask you guys, well, what level of failure are you talking about? Are you talking about missing the playoffs?
No, we're talking about like getting off to like a 0-4 start or 1-5 or something like that, and just looking bad out there.
You mean the offense looking bad, or just the team in general?
The team in general, offense.
The reason why
it has to be specific because if the defense is doing, if you know what I mean, if the defense is doing well and it's just the offense, then that doesn't lose. All right, because of what Keith said.
Well, I think because of circumstance and with Caleb being a new quarterback, I think that's going to give them a level of a little bit of room to play with. I don't think it just depends. I mean, we expect the defense to be good. If Caleb comes in and struggles, I don't think it's going to, unless missing the playoffs, is that failure? I mean, what's going to cost Flus his job? Is that cost him his job? Not making the playoffs, will that cost Flus his job? I don't even think so yet. I think they got to give him another year.
In the eyes of the fans, Chris, I think you just said exactly what it's going to be for the fans. The fans are going to demand that this team makes the playoffs this year. And if they don't, it's going to be a failure to the fans. Now, will Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles feel the same way? I don't know. We don't know.
Well, but, and then how far up the ladder will the blame go? I mean,
it's a good question.
Will he? It's a lot to take. It's a lot to take in.
Well, you will have to take that magnifying glass, and at some point, man, you're gonna have to point it at the guy that made certain decisions that didn't necessarily have to be made when you could have stayed on your course to build out your team. But since you decided to make the moves that you made, so here and track me on this, fellas.
We were supposed to get out at an hour, but I'm gonna let y'all go because my mechanic brought my van over, so we got some grace period. Go ahead, Keith.
Okay.
Thank you.
Track me on this.
Thank you, mechanic.
Yes, mechanic. Thank you. Track me on this, man. If Flus got an olive branch because he stepped up and fired Getsy. This Shane Waldron hire, this is Poles hire. This ain't Fluce's hire. So again, if we're going to be definitive in regards to what areas of the team does not do well, if we're talking about the totality of the team, if it just seems like a complete debacle, then you will first look at Fluce. But if within that debacle, the defense actually excelled and did well, you're going to have to kind of point that arrow over at the offense. So that's what it's going to really come down to, man. Me personally, that's what my thoughts are. I think if you look at it if you look at it that way, then you can kind of determine, who gonna catch that dart.
I just think if the offense does struggle, I think everybody's going to get some grace just because we got a rookie quarterback. I know he's the number one guy. People are going to point to Peyton Manning. He's going to be the first example out of their mouth going 1-15 his rookie year. So I don't look at anybody because
20 years ago.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. It was 20 years ago. I mean,
he didn't have the staff that he's stepping into. He didn't have that defense. He didn't have wide receivers. He didn't have a tight end. He didn't have running back. He didn't have all. I mean, he had Marshall Faulk when he first.
Yeah, he had a decent team. I know it's business, but I still think they're going to allow for some grace if the offense is, which is the most likely scenario of the two that would suffer. The defense is probably going to be good. Very.
At what point is Chicago going to be graced out? Because I know I'm graced out right now.
How about this?
I'm graced out.
How about this, Grace? Let me tell you something. How about you guys just have some respect and have some? We just take minute talking points, very minute questions we ask this panel, and look at the greatness that comes out. Very simple questions, and we turn them into a hell of a conversation. Hell of a conversations happen right here on the Nomad Network with very simple questions that may come up as a point at some point during the season. We don't know. We hope not. We hope they get off to a rip-roaring start. But it's good as a community. The community that we're building over here is to be able to ask these kinds of questions, give it some insight, and respond to it in a way that makes sense to you or whoever else is answering those questions. So that little magic that we do over here on this network, take little stuff and turn it into good content for you guys. Please show some appreciation for the panel. They've done very well today. But before we get out of here, I gotta Chris, do you still have the AI mock we got from Mason West yesterday? Because I didn't get Shawn and Keith's take on this.
Yeah, I have it. And you're welcome, by the way, for the previous comment.
So check this out. Hey, Brian, pull down the chat just for a minute. Bishop and Shawn, you guys didn't get a chance to chime in on this yesterday. I felt like this was the most realistic AI. I mean, I hadn't seen an AI draft, but seeing this is the most realistic scenario that I can imagine right about now. But I know you guys are going to look at this and say, okay, this doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me. This makes sense to me. This doesn't. Go ahead and break it down from your perspective. Does this look realistic to you, or are there things on here that you don't see as probable? Shawn first.
Yeah, it looks realistic.
You have any problems with anything you see up there?
Well, it's all speculation. It's so yeah, I'd rather not get Dallas Turner. I'd rather go dipping in that pool next year when it's a deeper draft. Give me a wide receiver this year. Excuse me, give me a wide receiver this year, at 9. So other than that, I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, the board could fall this way. The Cardinals could stand pat, even although they are taking offers. They made it clear. It was public that they're making that clear. All right, so we'll see. But yeah, it seems very very reasonable.
So Shawn, the biggest point of contention yesterday was, I think, with Kedz when he saw the trade that the Vikings moved up and the Patriots moved down, and they got Drake May at quarterback. I don't know exactly what Kedz said, but I think it's something to that. I think that's the first thing that really came off as a little bit odd to him. Do you see that as a realistic scenario?
Because the Vikings are 12?
Yeah.
So I'll explain the issue there, right? So the issue is just that the way this AI mock breaks it down, they're announcing a trade being the Vikings trading down with the Patriots at 3. What would the Vikings have given the Patriots? And the answer to that is clearly the number 11 pick that they hold. And as you can see, they're picking Brock Bowers there. The Vikings are picking Brock Bowers there. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy in how that shakes out. That pick should be the Patriots pick. And I would be very surprised if the Patriots went and picked a tight end, given that I don't know who's throwing the football in New England right now.
Go
So
ahead.
you're worried about the tight end.
Say that again?
You're worried about that they drafted a tight end.
It's just a confusing situation because it's saying that the Vikings drafted a tight end, which makes a little bit more sense, even though I believe they have Hawkinson. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy in this.
Just because you have Hawkinson, there you had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk at the same time. So it's
sure, they could get Brock Bowers. They could, but again, they wouldn't have that 11th pick. It would be the Patriots making that pick.
So
Right.
So the Brock. Okay.
Yeah.
So the AI thing screwed up. So it's 2 Vikings. So number 11 should be Patriots instead of Vikings because they traded.
Right.
Okay. Well, all right.
What about you, Bishop?
Looking at this, it could be very, again, we know it's all hypothetical or whatever. For me, I would love for the Vikings to take Drake May because I think Drake May is going to get whatever GM that drafts him higher than 10 could possibly be losing their job. So if that happened, go right ahead, Vikings. Take Drake May, go right ahead. And the Giants, go ahead and take JJ. You guys go right ahead and do that. Me personally, I wouldn't. If that's the case, I would rather see the Bears get a receiver instead of going after Dallas Turner. That's just me, because I still feel that we need to add that weapon along with Caleb. So even though I know I have been, and the reason why I say that is because Verse is gone to the Falcons. If Verse is available, I would rather we have Verse because then we can always we can get us a receiver. But to flip it, because Jared Verse would be taken by the Falcons, then I would like for us to get a receiver. But other than that, everything else could very well be possible, other than the fact that, number 11 would be the Patriots. And I don't, if they take Brock, hey, Brock Bowers, go right ahead. So, but anything's possible. Not a bad scenario, though.
So,
especially with the Vikings getting Drake May. Do it.
So Chris, I don't remember if we got your take on this last night. I don't know if you gave it or not. Did you?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it. The AI, like we said, screwed up with the Vikings at 11. But, again, I'm just going to repeat some stuff I said before. I don't see the value in a wide receiver as much as I see in a defensive edge rusher at 9. In this scenario, the guy I want is gone. If this would be the case, I would hope that they would trade back, and if Verse is gone before 9, trade back a little bit, see if you can pick up the other LSU receiver.
Okay, I was going to ask you guys to rank your top 3 or 4 or 5 edge rushers, man, but we'll save that for a whole other show and make that interesting too, because I think you guys' opinions on, and we did that, associated to the fit that Matt Eberflus has as a style of defense. We ranked them who we thought was best, and we'll do that on another show, man. But how about this, Chris? If you can take that down, we're gonna give some shout outs and start with Kedz before some pleasantries before we get ready to get out of here. You're on mute too, brother.
Thank you for that, sir. No Maniacs, been a show, been a No Maniac Monday once again. Went through some interesting topics and conversation. Just give some shout outs to some of the heads that are here. Actually, before I do, something I noticed was Barrelissimo was just killing the chat, and I'm just going to go through some of these that he put down today. Cody Whitehair knows exactly how far to snap the ball over the quarterback's head for Getsy's scheme. Nicely done. Cody Whitehair is most likely to be at the country and western bar riding a mechanical bull than at a strip club. Whitehair is there to teach the block.
Get that down, man. Get that down,
Oh,
man. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Hey, man, it's not
Come
the
on,
end
man.
of the world. Anyhow, so here's the next one. My concern since the decision was made to retain Eberflus was repeating the cycle of having a head coach on his last chance with a rookie QB who may be asked to do too much just to get wins to keep his job. I'm so with you on that. I'm trying not to think about that anymore and just flush that out of my personal psyche. Thanks for bringing it up again, Bralissimo. Cody White here. Cody also has great hip mobility to face his own quarterback about 1.5 seconds after the snap. Bralissimo again. Mustafa to the Raiders. Start the petition. This is great stuff. Why does everyone keep talking wide receiver to the Giants? Who's throwing them the ball? Danny? DeVito? See what I did there? You gotta love this stuff. And a little bit of love from King Booker World just because y'all tell the truth. Thanks, King Booker. We appreciate it, brother. Thanks for the super. You, sir, are super indeed.
Just because y'all, we think you the truth, King. Appreciate
there
you,
you go. So King Booker World, Do It All 36, Cornelius Squalls. Who's out there? The Scrolls, Dante Purify, Illinois Jones, Squeegee, Broski Bear. Just trying to give a little bit of love to some of the guys I don't regularly shout out. Oliver Chapman, AC Adam, Don Burr, Mr. Mayhem, and Scottish Bear are in the building with us today. Thanks for representing with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate the chats. We appreciate the supers. Thanks again. Bear down. Super back on to you.
Sports owners and Maniacs Unite. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate it. Great stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. If you're in Chicago, get out, Chicagoland area, get out there. Enjoy the beautiful 75-degree weather it is today. Make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube channel or download our channel on a Roku if you have a Roku television in the house. And man, let's get it cracking tomorrow. Great show, gentlemen. Great show in the chat. Chat is lit as always. And love talking Bears football with you guys. Keith?
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us again a little past an hour, as you always do. Greatly appreciate it. No maniacs and sports zoners. Hey, you guys rock, man. My guys on the panel, as always, it's just great, always chopping it up, talking Bears football. Again, today, very insightful, spirited to say the least. And no, man, you had some pretty good questions today, man. You stirred the pot a bit, You stirred the pot a bit. I guess it's time to get another pot of gumbo going as we get ready to head toward draft day. So, hey, with that being said, man, I just want everybody to have a great rest of your afternoon and your evening. Those out in Chicago, like Shawn said, the weather's great. Enjoy it. Get that vitamin D while you can. Get out there in that sun. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm going to do the same thing down here in good old Texas. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have me a nice little cigar, a little something to sip on, and just get ready for my I will be in the Chi-Town this weekend, so looking forward to it. But other than that, man, hey, everybody, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Nomad, to you, my brother.
Down in Texas, huh, Bishop? Down in Texas again, rubbing in their face again, huh?
Yeah, baby.
I hope the rattlesnakes get you. But
see, that's all right. That's all right, man. I'm gonna put my boots on just because you said that, man. I'm gonna make sure I step on them.
Just kidding, man. I love this, man. I love the panel, man. I love everybody involved in the show today, man. It was great. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, man. It's hard, like I keep telling you guys, it's really hard to come up with good, solid content that keeps people engaged for an hour and some odd minutes every day. It's hard to do that when you don't have people coming up and handing you, okay, you guys can talk about this today. Nope, we coming up with that stuff on our own. But I appreciate you guys. And when you heard me yesterday, kind of dig into those guys yesterday for irritating the chat yesterday, just understand this. I love the community we're building over here. And I think it's worth protecting and preserving and making sure it remains a place that you guys enjoy coming to. That's the idea. And that's why I won't just pick on those guys just because I see their names. Those guys are going to get picked on if they come in here and bring negativity to this community. I care more about the community and the people that help support what we do than any person, 1 or 2 people that want to take a sub away, fine. Like I said, you take that sub away, we'll get 5 to 10 to replace you, because the people coming here really respect the community and they like what we're building over here. And so we just want to maintain that. I just want to say that out loud to you guys again, so you understand. If you see guys start to get banned and, you know, getting put in timeout, you guys do a good job of maintaining this community. Before I have to do it, you guys are on it. And so we appreciate you guys for all that good energy you bring to us each and every day, and we love you for it, man. But before we get out of here, we will see you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central. But before I get out of here, I got to leave you guys with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Peace, no maniacs. Bear down.
Shy City, stand up. Yay, yay.
Boom.